Welcome back to another installment of ECE's 5 Steps to Call Center Excellence. Today's topic is going to be corporate culture, a critical topic in a call center because the message that the corporate culture sends to our frontline customer service representatives is key to how they're going to take care of the people on the other end of those phone calls or at the other end of those email messages or chat sessions. So let's look at the 5 critical elements in building a great corporate culture within a call center. The first starts with the executives. Some questions you want to ask about the call center executive team. Where are they located? Is there a separate corporate office where they work, far away from the call center, or are they located right down on the front lines with the troops in a very proximate office? It's critical that the executives are close to the operations to send the right message that the call center operations floor is what the business is all about and not the corporate office with the multi-paneled windows and the fancy views. That needs to be really gotten right, or the message is going to be it's an imperial attitude and not a frontline focused attitude. So that's our first, focusing on the executives and their immersion in the service delivery. The second, let's move down to the site directors, the people running each individual call center. Do they take phone calls regularly on the various programs? They should. Where is their office situated? Is it as far away from the operations floor as they can make it? Or is it right next to the operations floor so they're constantly there to help their team? It should be as close as possible. In a perfect world, they may not even have an office. They may have a shared office where they take conference calls, but they really want to be situated on the floor where the real work gets done. And are they spending their time discussing P&Ls with the executives, or are they spending their time discussing CSAT, Net Promoter Scores, quality of service? The answer is they should be doing the latter and not the former. The next big thing you want to look at, our third point in creating a great corporate culture, is the pay rate. Many contact centers have extremely low pay rates to the CSRs, the customer service representatives, very high pay rates to the executives and the senior managers, which is really an upside down way of looking at compensation. The work that gets done that affects customers is all done by the people on the front lines. The rest of the crew is just there in a supporting function. And by setting the supporting function as the high earners way out of bounds with what the frontline troops make, it sends the wrong message to the frontline troops. You're not as important as those people sitting in the offices. And what that does is it affects the person on the other end of that phone call, chat message, or email, because they're not going to feel important, so they're not going to make our end customers that are reaching out to our center feel as important as they should. That really should be weighted heavily as much as possible towards the people doing the actual work. The next one you want to look at, our fourth bullet, is what percent of the supervisor's time is spent in one-on-one coaching, FaceTime with the frontline troops, versus how much time the supervisors spend looking at reports, looking at their computer, sitting in meetings, sitting on conference calls. If the supervisors are with the frontline troops 80% of the time, the corporate culture is performing in a very positive way. If the supervisors are at their desks looking at their computer screens or sitting in offices reporting up to the next level of management, we're not getting the job done because we're not supporting the frontline troops the way we need to. Instead, we're counting numbers, looking at spreadsheets, and finding excuses not to do the hard work of one-on-one coaching and personnel development. So that's our fourth key point. Our last point for this particular session is going to be, what do you learn in a focus group of randomly selected CSRs? So if you're evaluating a contact center, you never want to do a focus group with the people that whoever's running the call center decides to put in the room for you. Those are, of course, pre-selected. You want to get a list of every single employee on the front lines, randomly select 6 to 10 of them, put them in a private room where no managers are around, and try to get a real understanding of how they feel about representing this company and representing the projects, clients, and brands that they deal with every day on the phone. So those are your 5 key points to really be aware of in trying to build a great company culture. How are the executives behaving? How are the site directors behaving? How are the pay rates structured between the frontline troops all the way up to the executives? How much of the supervisor's time is spent with the frontline troops? And then what do you learn in a randomly selected focus group?